Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chum Change. This is live recorded for anybody that's new here. What we mainly do is go over crypto news in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's here, and then we'll get into this. Mr. Andrew Masad, my man, appreciate you, buddy. We have all for you miners. I always get tripped up on that. I don't know why. Dan R, good to see you. Chris Hanley in the house. All set, my man Steven Cicero, Ziege Miner, son of a rabbit. Love that name. Let's see. Mr. David, appreciate you. Thank you for being a member for 3 months, dude. You're awesome. Luke, my man, good morning, sir. Crypto 440, not James, AC Mining, good morning. Let's see. Game with Smokey Dan, Mike the Miner, good morning. Good morning. Will Wyman, we got a full house this morning. You guys are awesome. All right, anybody I may have missed, I apologize. Well, let's check out this market. Bitcoin holding $52,403.
Eat shit, Gary.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Ethereum 28.45. Everything is looking fantastic. Litecoin still has not got the memo that things are pumping, but it's holding around 70 bucks. Severely undervalued in my opinion, but is what it is. Solana dropped a little bit to 112 bucks. Not too bad though. Kaspa. You know what? Somebody said it in the chat. I don't know who it was. Somebody just said, will Kaspa please break the 14.5 area? It's been trying, and it really has been floating around 14 cents for a couple days now. It's kind of surprising it hasn't broken it yet, but we'll see it soon enough. Matic looks like it's up 5.27% today. Interesting. Mr. Dan R and Mr. Game with Smokey Dan, appreciate you both. Boom shakalaka, members for 9 months, both of you. The baby is ready. Wow, already 9 months. Oh, such a random comment. That's awesome. All track, appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being a member for 9 months as well, dude. You guys are awesome. You're all amazing. All right, over here on Crypto Bubbles, biggest earner on the day looks to be Render. Look at this. Render 47th, $5.57. Damn. I knew it. I was talking about it the other day. I knew it. I should have just stayed in it. Render's killing it though. I don't know, is anybody into Render? Guys, let me know in the chat. Have you purchased Render at all? It's available on Coinbase. We have Arweave, is that how you say that? We have $11.80, up 12.9%. Mr. Carl Coate, appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being a member for 9 months as well. Why not? Everyone else is doing this. You're awesome. We have 6.8% on BitGet token, 89 cents over here. Teo Bit&Soar looks like it's $672, 10.6% up on the day. We have Sats, looks like that's up, let's see, what is that up? I don't know, way under a penny, but it's up 11% today. GRT, the graph, looks like it's up 19 cents. Damn, you guys are insane. Andrew Masad, Steven Cicero, my man. Remember, for 21 months, Steven Cicero and Andrew Masad. 5 months, my PP not as big. Perfect. Oh, you're insane. All right, let's see. Fear and Greed Index, we have 72. You guys know I don't really check this out until about 75, but I always like to keep tabs on this. It just makes sense, you know. Again, be greedy when people are fearful, fearful when people are greedy. Honestly, we've seen this shit in the 90s, so I don't know. I think this time it's going to be a different sentiment in the market, even though it's pretty things have been pumping. It's only at 72, and this is a gauge of all like social media, pretty much everything around the internet when it comes to crypto, so it should be fairly accurate for the whole sentiment in the market, you know, as a whole anyways. All right, top 10 coins on CoinGecko. Buy coin market cap, we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, XRP, USDC, Lido Staked Ether, Cardano, and Avalanche. Dogecoin still in 11th place. We have Chainlink in 12th, and those two were fighting it out, but it looks like Dogecoin took the cake on that one for right now anyways. I wonder how Chainlink's gonna do long term. I think Chainlink's a pretty decent bet, and Polygon is a pretty decent bet in my opinion as well, but I don't own either of those, to be honest, but I guess we'll have to see. I thought of buying Render. Does that count? Yes, it still counts. All right, I thought about it too, but then I just didn't. I pushed out and I lost out. That's how that goes. We have Ethereum Classic looking like it's 27th place, again $27. We have Litecoin 22nd place, 70 bucks, again as we already mentioned. Kaspa over here at 35th place, 14.4. Man, this coin's been really just hanging around 14 cents. Let's show the 7-day. Look at it. Yeah, it's been up and down 7 cents. I mean, did I say 7 cents? The 7-day, it's been hanging around the 14-cent area between high 13s and high 14s. Actually, it broke the 14.5 right here. We just need to get back over 15 cents, right? What was the all-time high? And why didn't that keep playing? My music shut off. Hold on. There we go. All right. Let's see. We have the all-time high is 15.2. So we're getting there, man. What do you guys think it's going to hit? If it breaks 15.2, where's it going? You guys, let me know in the chat. All right, let's check out lithium. How's lithium doing today? I'm going to start moving on to the mining segment of things. All right, $2.67. It's been pretty stagnant and actually pumped a little bit yesterday. Up to 283. Nice. What's the all-time high? Is that it? It is it. 22 hours ago. Look at that. Look at that. Lithium broke a new all-time high yesterday. Hell yeah. But then it's looks like some people are taking profits anyways. Smart ones. Everyone else just holds it to the moon. Just kidding. I sold some the other day. You guys know that around like I think it was like 265 or something, 262 maybe. I forget. It was in the 260s though. I know that. All right, let's check out honey. How's honey looking? Hivemapper down to 19 cents. Nice. Look at that. Holy shit. It fell off a cliff right here. Well, it looks like it's really not that bad. It's like 1 penny, but it looks horrible. Let's see the 7-day. 7-day had a pretty decent pump actually. Went up to 24 cents, almost 25. Crazy. And now it's down to 19 again. No big deal. I think Hivemapper is going to be doing pretty well. How's ETC POW looking? How are we looking on ETC POW? 13 cents.
Bruh.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. this man, I don't know. That Voss coin review they were banking on didn't really pay out for them. Unfortunately. Big oof on that one. All right, let's check out the miners of the day. You guys know I like to timestamp these, see where we were at like a year from now. You know, we'll see what the top miner was. We have IB Link BMKS Max, 11 terahashes as of right now, making $90.53 a day. Damn, that's actually pretty good. We got the WinMiner K9, 10.3 terahash unit, $88.89. We have the KS3 8 terahash unit, $67.51 a day. The KS3M 6 terahash unit making $48.23 a day. Not too bad. The X16P, how's that looking? 18 bucks, 41 cents a day. ETHW and ZIL looks to be the top coin there. Those other ones are all Kaspa miners, as you guys may know. And this profitability is after 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Anybody may not know in the chat. That's how this site works. You can adjust that as you will. I just leave it on 10 because it's pretty much that's where the like standard number is, and on top of that, that's what Terra hosting charges for ASICS. So it just makes sense for me to look at that. All right, we have a lithium over here on the Superscaler K10 again on the top of the charts, $12.31 per day. Again, this is the FPGA. I wonder if they're going to start coming out with the lithium ASICs or not. What do you guys think? Andrew Masad, my power bill is brutal, dude. Trust me, I get it. Trust me, mine is absolutely awful. God, I don't want to get it this month. All right, we have the KS1 1 terahash unit making $7.96 a day. Did I skip the KS2? I did. The KS2 over here is making $15.92 a day. Not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, actually, you know what? CKB. Hold on. Let's go look at that. CKB is actually, or was pumping yesterday. Oh man, it's down 8.1%. Let's see. 7-day. Yeah, look at that. Oh wow. Yeah, it went up. It was a 50% move from the 12th up to the 15th, at least, and more than 50%. Damn, that's crazy. Actually in the penny area now. Neat. Let's see. How's the man? It was pretty stagnant until the other day, the 12th. Jeez. And I wonder, you know what? Like someone said it. I wonder if the Chinese New Year affected this coin for whatever reason. Do you guys think so? Let me know what you're thinking in the chat. But it looks like the K7 has been resurrected, and it's up here making $17.86 a day, which is pretty neat. If anybody has a K7, congrats. Getting some more profits out of that one. We have the Antminer L7, the 9050, making $5.07 a day. Again, you guys know I have that unit, so that's being hosted. Where is the S? Why can I never see the S19K? I feel like I'm just dumb. Oh, here it is. All right, it's down here. 40th, ranked 40th. S19K Pro, 120 terahash unit. Mining gigabytes, actually the most profitable, $3.75 a day. Man, I feel like these Bitcoin miners, like you see Bitcoin this high, and it's like, yes, I love it. And then you go look at the profitability of your miners, and you're like, What the hell's happening?
Bruh.
Makes no sense. I don't know. It makes sense, but it's just unfortunate. $3.75 a day. Like, you got to make like, this shit's gonna be 100K for you to make like $6 a day. What the hell's going on here? What is going on here? Wait, $1,500 for an S19K? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know where the hell they get these prices, to be honest. I think I paid around 2K, to be honest. It was closer to 2K, or a little over 2K when I got it. Yeah, but the main reason I got it wasn't for the profitability daily. It was for the being able to flip it in the bull run, right? Somebody's gonna want it, and I'll just sell it, leave it at Terra Hosting. You guys can host with them. There you go. It's yours. But I'm making my money back plus some on it when I do sell it. You know what I mean? So it just makes sense to me. The Jazz Miner X4Q, you guys know I am mining over to unMineable to get Neoxa. I just took out another payout this morning of like 26,000 because I have everything going over there right now. Trying to get my master node. I have over 700,000 now, which is awesome. So a duke into that unMineable team. Awesome. Ice over KS0 Pro, we have 200 gigahashes over here, making $1.64 a day. Did I even say what this thing made today? $2.33 per day over here on the X4Q, by the way. The Pro though, $1.64. It's going up. It's nice. It's nice to see it. Nice to see it. And I think that's pretty much going to do it over here. Let's check out the GPUs, see what the most profitable coin of the day is. Ooh, looks like Pyron. Do I need to switch my farm over to Pyron? I think so. Look at that. NXL, which is the Nexilia coin. What is this? What's Cairo? Hero. How do you say that? What is that? I've never seen that. Is it new? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. We have a lithium, top of the charts for some of the coins. Pyron though. Pyron's taking it for a lot of the bigger cards, which is interesting. I wonder what the price is at. Actually, let's just go look. What is the price of Pyron? Wow, it's up 28%. Jeez. 3 cents. 3 cents. Look at that. Not too bad. Even though it's taken quite the shit over the past couple months. As you can see. A little hype and then now it's nothing. But 3 cents, pretty good. If it's more profitable on GPUs, hell yeah. Take it. Take it while you can. All right, so let's see. Game with Smokey Dan. If you buy the coin, improved your standing, then would explain pump as well. I am confused what you're saying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Game with. Oh, you're talking about Neoxa? Maybe you're talking about Neoxa. Might be. All right. Anyways, let's get into the news segment of things. We're not really going to watch any videos today. It's going to be mostly news stuff, but let's see. So I was looking at X over here. Stanley Drunken Miller is known as one of the most successful hedge fund managers on Wall Street and is worth, is that $6 billion? 6.2 billion? Jeez. Good for that guy. Stanley says it's clear young people look at Bitcoin as a store of value. It's a brand. I don't own any, but I should. Let's see what he's got to say over here on Twitter. You can't hear it? Can you not hear it? Come on, I can hear it. It's just low. It's really low. I know it sucks. You can't hear it for real? Because I can see the bar moving. I can't turn it up. It won't turn up anymore. Yeah, it's stupid low. I can't turn it up anymore. I don't know why. That's the biggest thing here. He doesn't own any Bitcoin, but he should. I just thought it was quite interesting. All right, let's move on to something you guys can actually hear. We have CEO, the CFO. Crypto prices climbing across the board, driven by momentum around the Bitcoin ETFs. Let's see what CNBC Television's got to say. A lot of the news is going to be about Coinbase this morning. Let's see What's going on, guys? That like button, appreciate you for hanging out.
Coinbase shares popping after surprise profit for the quarter and a massive beat on earnings driven by better than expected trading volume. You can see shares are up 4% right now. Coinbase and Bitcoin seeing a run up into this report, both up more than 20% month to date. Joining us now exclusively before the analyst call is Coinbase CFO Alesia Haas. Alesia, it's great to have you on the show. Welcome. I do want to start with that massive EPS beat that was driven by better trading volume. Walk me through what you saw in terms of activity in the quarter and how it is carrying over now here into the beginning of 2024.
You know, this one even seems a little quiet too on my needle thing. Can you guys hear this okay? Let me know.
Well, thanks for having me, and thanks for the first question. Yes, we've always said that crypto is a volatile space, and when we see increases in volatility, it has long attracted more trading volume to our platform, and that's exactly what we saw in the late fourth quarter. Sparked by the Bitcoin ETFs, sparked by a belief that the macroeconomic environment would improve in 2024, we saw more growth, and we saw that across the platform on our retail institutions, and we saw excess growth in our advanced trading product, which drove to that strong trading volume. And as you can see with the unit economics of our product, when we see strong trading volume and activity, that translates to bottom line growth. So we had a strong fourth quarter with $273 million of net income in the fourth quarter. That brought us to $95 million for the full year 2023. And we posted nearly $1 billion of adjusted EBITDA in 2023 and really met our financial goal where we told you in the beginning of the year we wanted to produce a positive adjusted EBITDA in all market conditions. And we're really proud that we delivered 4 quarters of positive adjusted EBITDA this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, you basically beat on just about every metric from what I can tell here, except maybe take rate being a little bit softer, a little bit lower. Walk me through what that means in terms of trading mix and whether that should be translated as fee concessions or something else.
We did not change pricing in Q4. So in Q4, and we've shared this for many quarters, a lot of the results of our fee rate is just the mix shift on our platform. Who traded what product in the quarter? And so in Q4, when we saw higher volatility, we grew simple trading, but advanced grew more. And so the growth of those advanced trading customers and the volume per trader led to the fee rate coming down on average in the quarter. But it's purely mix shift, just math, no change to fees in the fourth quarter.
We're a little over a month into all of these Bitcoin spot ETFs trading. We've got Bitcoin trading at a more than 2-year high and other cryptocurrencies surging as well. But specifically around the ETFs, on the one hand, you're custodian for a majority of them. And on the other, at least according to a number of analysts, they could compete for some of the investor and trader activity that traditionally has gone to Coinbase. What has the impact been so far?
We've seen crypto come up across the board, and it's largely been driven by the Bitcoin ETF excitement and then the momentum. So when we look at the ETFs in particular, we've seen net $4 billion of inflows into Bitcoin ETFs. This makes it one of the fastest growing ETF categories that we've ever seen in the history of ETFs. It's now surpassed silver in terms of total size. We are the proud custodian now of 90% of total ETF crypto. And that's really benefited our platform directly. But what I would say is we've seen growth writ large across the space with this excitement. More people are now getting into crypto. People are excited about the asset class again. And we've seen growth in our advanced trading, as well as in the institutional platform, which really is supporting the Bitcoin ETFs. So it's been good for the industry, and we've seen that momentum carry through now into the first quarter.
Shout out to them. All right, let's move on to Fox Business, the guy that can't say Satoshi and calls him Satori. Bitcoin maximalist Michael Saylor answers the question of our time. Let's see what's going on over here.
All right, folks, don't look now, but Bitcoin is on fire. And this
is the guy that couldn't say Satoshi. It says Satori.
Time it's with far less fanfare, right? Now, part of the reason I think maybe the boom bust cycle, the history of crypto, of this cryptocurrency. But take a look at this. At the top of that screen, since 2011, the orange is Bitcoin. It has been the best performing asset 10 times. And on the bottom of the chart, it's been the worst performer 3 times. All in all, though, I think it's got a hell of a track record. Now, folks are really piling in. Those Bitcoin spot ETFs, They started really strong. They kind of fell apart for a moment. Now they're picking up big-time momentum. This, again, after stumbling out the gate. And I suspect that this bandwagon is going to really start to fill up quickly as Bitcoin breaks through some pivotal resistance. You're going to get a whole lot of folks who don't know anything about cryptocurrency but want a piece of the action. Someone who knows everything about it, MicroStrategy's Executive Chairman, Michael Saylor. You know, Michael, I listened to a podcast that you're on recently. I know you do a lot of them, and which I think is great because you're reaching out to people, real folks out there. But there's something you said in this that really stuck out to me, and I want you to listen to it, but I want the audience to hear it as well. Let's play it.
I hope it's not like, I sent you, I hope he doesn't say I sent you 2 Bitcoin. I was expecting 4 back. If you guys, please be careful. All right. If anybody's new here, there is a lot of scams with Michael Saylor. They will hack YouTube channels that have a shit ton of subscribers. They'll change the name to MicroStrategy, and they'll have an AI thing with him playing and tell you to send your Bitcoin. Please don't do that. Don't do it. It's a scam. Report it if you see it. Okay. Thank you.
Robert asked me on his show, what is money? I had never questioned what is money. And then we explored it together for many, many hours. And when I finished that exploration, my conclusion was money is economic energy.
Economic energy, what does that mean?
Yeah, it is the question of our time, Charles. And it's a question that I went most of my adult life without understanding. But economic energy is capital. Economic energy is wealth. And so if you think about the wealth in the world, there's maybe $900 trillion of it right now. And it's tied up in real estate, in stocks, in bonds, in currencies, collectibles, et cetera. The challenge is that that capital is analog capital from the 20th century, and Bitcoin represents the digital transformation of capital. And your chart you just showed with those ETFs shows that every day in the last 5 days, $481 million is flowing out of the analog world into the digital world. And what's going
Wow, $481 million. Is that what he just said? Hold on, let me rewind that. Let me just rehear that.
$481 million shows that every day in the last 5 days, $481 million is flowing out of the analog world into the digital world.
That's a crazy amount.
And what's going to drive Bitcoin is, in essence, the conversion of analog capital to digital capital. The killer use case is capital preservation and capital appreciation. And, the name of the show is making money. That's what everybody wants to do, and money is capital.
And it's same.
Man, do you guys think we're gonna see like a big pullback before the halving or after the halving? Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Just throw what you think's gonna happen in there, because I'm just interested to know. I've been debating whether to buy some more Bitcoin. I want to take some money out and actually put it into Bitcoin, but I kind of I know DCA is probably the best way, but at the same time, I don't want to buy this high, but I know it's really not that high. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a double-edged sword.
In podcast, you talked about Rockefeller and I guess the baron, some of the so-called robber barons in general, who in modern times get a bad, it's a bad thing to be a robber baron, right? But we know they help to change the course of humanity for net for the positive. But just the implications of what can be done once you convert. This conversion you're talking about, going from the analog wealth, converting it into digital wealth, how much more it could be a positive for humanity overall?
Civilizations, they rise or fall based upon the creation and channeling of energy. And we think of power as energy delivered in a certain period of time with a focus. So it's all about firepower, naval power, air power, nuclear power. Rockefeller gave us liquid energy in the form of oil. Bitcoin is digital property. It's conveyed by digital power. Those Bitcoin miners are digital power providers, and it's the most powerful computer network in the world. So we see this as profound because there's hundreds of trillions of dollars of wealth in the analog world, and there's no doubt it's decaying. Bonds are losing value because of inflation. Real estate's losing value due to just physical decay. Stocks lose value because of competition and product cycles and acts of God. And so the people of the world, they're looking for a new idea, and Bitcoin is this idea of put your money in cyberspace where it's not going to be affected by weather and war and supply chains and all of the things that have plagued us in the 20th century.
Now, to that end, I know MicroStrategies has sort of rebranded itself. I think it's called now Bitcoin Development Company. What exactly does that mean? And have you moving completely away from the traditional business?
Now, we've got a very healthy software business, but we've now got nearly $10 billion in Bitcoin, and we've got a very large...
$10 billion in Bitcoin they have now. I think it's 190,000 Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken, how much MicroStrategy has, or they just crossed that number. Because if you guys don't know, they DCA, his company DCAs into it, a dollar cost average, right? Every, I don't know, probably every week they probably put some money into it or whatever. I don't know what their actual schedule is there, but... and you know what, actually in the chat, you guys are probably right. I was reading, you guys are talking about, or my wife actually said if he opened his mouth a little more while he was talking, the AI, you'd be able to like realize it a little bit more. But yeah, they probably deep fake him a lot because he really doesn't open his mouth when he talks too much, and it's easier to fake that, right? That's kind of interesting.
Equity market cap, and we can tap the capital markets as an operating company, and we can leverage our market cap in order to issue equity, issue debt, buy back our debt. We can restructure our capital structure so that our shareholders get more Bitcoin. So just like, you know, you want to develop New York City, you're going to borrow money and you're going to build a building. You know, what we're doing is we're issuing securities in order to buy Bitcoin, in order to promote the Bitcoin network, lock up the Bitcoin forever, and then build the entire ecosystem.
I got to tell you, I wouldn't bet against you, Michael. And I think a whole lot of folks have learned that the hard way. Congratulations. Always appreciate when you come on the show. Pearls of wisdom.
A lot of people have, I don't know. I wish I listened to that guy too a long time ago, right? Just DCA into it every week, whatever the case may be, and you'll probably do well, right? All right, let's get into this. Scaramucci on Coinbase, Gensler, and Bitcoin forecast. This is Bloomberg Television, guys. Hit that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Yeah, I do just want to get your thoughts about the recent run-up that we've seen in Bitcoin. I think last time I checked, we're around 52,000, a far cry from 69, but looks like we're headed in that direction.
But a big move from 16, 17, 18,000 towards the end of 2022, which was the Annibus Horribilis for crypto. So,
yeah.
But I think the one thing I would just add on the Coinbase situation, everything's up. It's going to improve the staking on the altcoins, and there's huge margins in that. So even if they lose a little on the exchange-traded funds, meaning some of their customers buy the ETF as opposed to just buying Bitcoin, you know, natively on the exchange, they're picking up revenues from the whole lift in the overall market capitalization.
Hey, real quick, you know, he just said the staking thing, and it just got me thinking. In crypto.com, you guys can stake random coins. Like, there's no minimum, as far as I know anyways. You can just stake whatever you have in there, and you get like X amount, but it's like for X amount of time, right? Did they ever get whacked by the SEC? Like, fined over on crypto.com for that kind of staking stuff? Does anybody know? Because I honestly, yeah, it's not all coins, it's just most of them, but I honestly don't remember if there was ever a lawsuit against them. And that's weird. Like, why? Why wouldn't they have got hit? Right? That's weird, right?
So you think this is going to spread beyond just Bitcoin itself? I know it's already done that to a certain extent, but the narrative has always been, okay, spot Bitcoin ETFs, you don't really need Coinbase, but we forget that there's a whole other ecosystem out there.
So
Carl Coates said, did they pay a fine? No, I don't even know if they got hit with a fine, to be honest.
So I think what has typically happened is, as you see a swelling in Bitcoin, the grandfather of cryptos, it sort of spills over into the other assets. And so just what happens is you're making profits in Bitcoin, you start to redeploy them into riskier assets. And some of those assets are really not that risky relative to Bitcoin. As an example, Ethereum and Solana are probably now in that big boys club. And so, but listen, you know, you stake with a place like Coinbase because it's safe, it's good, you know, highly good regulatory process inside there. It's probably one of the best run cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. So you feel the safety there, and they do take a reasonable size of the profits as a result of that. And I don't think we should underestimate that.
So Gary Gensler made pretty clear that the SEC was holding its nose as it approved those spot Bitcoin ETFs. What does that mean for the prospect of ETFs backed by other cryptocurrencies like Ether, like anything else?
You are so nice, because to say that he was holding his nose is such a, he had like a vomit bag under the desk, like when he was like, so you were just such a nice person. But
trying to be polite.
What I would say is that
a vomit bag under the desk. Oh, that was great.
That he's up against it because he's lost several cases. He will
Would it
probably
take another lawsuit to get there?
I think he will. I think he's decided that the powers that be politically in the elite don't like crypto. They don't like the energy around Bitcoin, and I don't think they want an ETF for Ethereum. And so that May decision, I think, gets pushed. I think it causes another lawsuit. He'll likely lose that lawsuit. And then you're coming up against the election. And so then the real question is, will Mr. Gensler, in a new Joe Biden administration, will he be the SEC chairman? My guess is he probably won't be at that point.
I want to go back.
I like this guy because he does call it like it is most of the time.
Back to Bitcoin for a moment, because of course you made a lot of headlines when you gave a Bitcoin price forecast of $170,000 about 18 months after the halving in April. Given the rally that we've seen, 52,000 above that level, what's your latest price forecast? Are you sticking with that?
I am sticking with that, but the typical thing, what I was trying to say in that podcast was there's a technical analysis that you can do over the past 14 years. The price at the time of the halving, if you multiply that by 4, that's typically where Bitcoin has run to in that cycle. And so I was just using a $50,000 number.
Sounds about right.
For April. So this could run up because there's a lot of momentum right now. You guys are seeing that the network is only producing 900 coins a day, and you've got 12 times the demand of that right now, which is why you're seeing a price squeeze to the upside. So I'm going to stick with that price prediction only because I think it's conservative based on where we are right now. And I think people need to understand, look at what happened to NVIDIA, look at what happened to Apple over the last decade, NVIDIA over the last 18 months. It's not impossible now that this asset has been regulated and has this regulatory ETF wrapper around it.
Yeah.
And remember, I've been on Wall Street. This is my 36th year on Wall Street. Wall Street sells product.
Yeah.
And these products are sold and not bought. And you have armies of people now that are putting these products in people's portfolios.
Yeah.
And it's very limited demand for an asset like Bitcoin.
You actually look great for a guy who's been on Wall Street for 36 years, by the way.
There's a lot of Botox on my forehead, Romain, and I can give you a referral to my dermatologist if you have an interest.
I might need it one day. I am curious, though. I mean, who is kind of in this space right now? Because you talk about how, okay, maybe we see a repeat of NVIDIA and Apple and some of these big run-ups here, but that takes a lot of retail interest. Some of that really got shook out when we saw that big drop last year, or in 2022, excuse me, whenever it was. Are we going to see more of those people come back into it? Meaning this isn't just going to be the whales and some of the institutional and crypto faithful.
So it's a really good question. And so the skeptics are saying it's the whales. Gensler himself is trying to make the argument that it's a few people that control Bitcoin. We really don't see that. Over 70% of the holders of Bitcoin own less than one Bitcoin. But what I do see is continued adoption, and I see people like BlackRock and Fidelity adding it to their omnibus portfolios over time. And so I think this thing squeezes up, and the skeptics, particularly people that are on the short side, are going to have to get out of the way.
You talked about how Wall Street sells products, and we've seen, obviously, Wall Street leaders like Larry Fink, like Howard Lutnick, talk up crypto following the launch of those spot Bitcoin ETFs. What portion of Wall Street leaders do you think really understands the dynamics and the inner workings of the asset class? Would you say it's a quarter of them, a half of them?
It's probably a handful of them. I think it's a great question. I think the answer is it's a handful of them. But here's what I would say to my Wall Street contemporaries. It's a one-way ticket towards Bitcoin, meaning the more research you do and you go down the rabbit hole of Bitcoin to understand the network, the decentralized properties of the network, the immutability of the network, it becomes a very, very compelling thing. So if you look at a Paul Tudor Jones or a Stanley Druckenmiller, a Larry Fink is an example, who was negative on Bitcoin 24, 36 short months ago, understood better what it was and then green-lighted the ETF. And so my prediction is, as people understand it better, when I hear Wall Street executives railing against Bitcoin, my secondary question is, how much homework have they actually done? Or are they saying that because they are under the gun with regulators?
That was that was a good point he made, because Larry Fink did kind of switch gears and change his mind on, Bitcoin as a whole. Once he hired some younger kid, I forget his name. We watched something. There was a video that we watched. It kind of explained this, how he more or less got him on the side of Bitcoin versus, the opposite side of just hating on it and shitting on it, right? So he kind of understands blockchain technology, which is neat now. Anyways, let's move on. Kathy Wood says Coinbase is executing brilliantly. Yahoo Finance. Let's get into it, guys. That like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Shares of Coinbase are on the move upwards after topping revenue estimates for the fourth quarter. Let's get reaction from someone who has a lot of skin in the game when it comes to Coinbase. Nearly 5 million shares in her flagship fund, to be exact. That fund is the...
I feel like every time we see her, her glasses get thicker. This is just me. This is just me.
Innovation ETF, and Kathy Wood, ARK Invest CEO and CIO, is joining us right now. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you.
I feel like that hurts to
Hi,
hold
Julie. Great
your
to
nose.
see you. Thank you.
So let's first just dip into Coinbase a little bit here. It does look like the results beat estimates here. It looks like they turned a profit that was considerably larger than estimated. And there has been a lot of talk about the effect of the introduction of spot Bitcoin ETFs, the effect of the increase in Bitcoin prices. What do you think Coinbase is doing right now?
And there was no offense to anybody that wears glasses, by the way. It was just, I swear, it's like every time I see them, I feel like they're either bigger or like they just like look like they hurt.
Well, one of the things that it's doing right is that it is, from a regulatory point of view, the most compliant exchange out there. And it's losing all its competition. Last year's demise of FTX was very important, and even Binance's issues have had a positive impact on Coinbase from a market share point of view. I think they're also in the right place at the right time, and they're executing brilliantly. The market is very volatile, so trading platforms benefit from volatility, and we certainly have had a lot of that recently. And then, of course, with the spot Bitcoin ETFs coming out, we've seen the price increase, or there's been volatility around it, but now it seems to be breaking out the price, and that's also good for Coinbase. So a lot of wins, and of course their EBITDA was fantastic. They've turned into profitability.
Do you think that they will turn in a full year of profitability here in 2024?
Of course, a lot depends on what happens to the market, but I do think the signs are pointing up for that. So yes, Julie, at this time we do.
And I'm also curious, you said you find Coinbase to be the most compliant, in the crypto universe in this respect. Of course, the company is still fighting with the Securities and Exchange Commission over regulation of some of the securities it has listed. Do you think that that the company is going to succeed in its battle with the SEC on that front?
We think the odds are high, and the reason we say that is because of Ripple's win, Grayscale's win, but especially Ripple's win, and what we learned about securities and timing of issuance versus trading on a platform when something starts as a security and evolves into something else, not a security.
I also wanted to ask you, I know that in your latest disclosure that you did lighten your Coinbase stake a little bit. I mean, it's still the largest position in your benchmark ETF, but I'm just curious what was behind that move.
Yes, well, Coinbase has had a magnificent move since all of the regulatory concerns were plaguing it last year. I think it's up more than fivefold. And so this is simple portfolio management. There are other stocks in the portfolio that are lagging. This has had a great move. And so it's simply trimming, profit taking, and really nothing more than that.
Let's widen it out a little bit to talk a little bit more about what's been going on in the crypto world. And you were recently out with your big ideas report for 2024, some of the big investable themes that you watch. One of them is Bitcoin allocation. And of course, you're now also in the spot Bitcoin ETF business with the introduction of your new spot Bitcoin ETF with 21 shares. But I want to zero in on that. Before we get to that, how are you thinking about Bitcoin allocation, how it will affect the underlying price of Bitcoin, and how sort of normal people should be thinking about how much to allocate to something like Bitcoin?
Yes. So if you look over the history of Bitcoin, the optimal allocation on average over this time period has been roughly 5%, maybe a little bit below 5%. That's the average. When we first put Bitcoin or got exposure to Bitcoin through GBTC in 2015, the optimal allocation would have been less than 0.5%, but it's been rising. And I think one of the things that we learned in the last year that I think is encouraging asset allocators to think seriously about Bitcoin is it is not only a risk-on asset, but during the regional bank crisis last year, it appreciated as regional banks were falling apart. And so it has become a flight to quality asset as well. So think about that, risk on and risk off. Volatile to be sure, but risk on and risk off, that's quite something. And then the other thing to consider is institutions are, by and large, have not allocated to Bitcoin. And yet it is a new asset class. And they have to consider the ramifications of that from a diversification point of view. Diversification into a new asset class that is not highly correlated with other asset classes, stocks, bonds, commodities, and others, usually increases returns per unit of risk, which is what allocators want. And the other thing I'll note is the number of Bitcoin outstanding right now is a little over 19.5 million. The maximum number we will ever see is 21 million. So this scarce asset is getting scarcer, and institutions—
Yeah, that's crazy. So it's 19 million out now, right? And only 21 ever.
Have not even gotten involved yet in any big way.
And you know, it's been interesting, the move that we have seen in Bitcoin after the introduction and approval and introduction of those spot Bitcoin ETFs like your own.
You know, and Andrew Beside, you're right. Minus like 4 to 5 million, right? Because they say, what was it like? I think it's like 5 to 7. They average roughly has been lost from like back in the day trading old hard drives that have Bitcoin on it that have just been lost forever, right? So realistically, there's only ever to be 21 million created, but that doesn't mean there's still 21 million around. You know what I mean? That's why people like searching dumps for friggin' their old hard drives like they're ever gonna find it. I don't never understand that, but whatever.
Some folks we've talked to, including you, by the way, have said, well, maybe we would see a little bit of weakness just in the wake of that, and then it was a recovery. But the recovery has actually happened perhaps more quickly than people anticipated. Does that change the calculus for where Bitcoin might get by the end of this year, for example?
Chris Hanley said, brother lost 5 hard drives. No, the hard drive is somewhere. Dude, you better. Oh, he lost 5 Bitcoin. You lost 5 Bitcoin? Bro, I'd be ripping shit apart. The hard drive is somewhere, bro. Nope, I'd be looking for it every day. I would turn my house upside down if it was in that house. Unless he threw it out, then you're just fucked. Forget about it.
Yeah, as you know, we do 5-year plus forecasts. And so we're focused on how institutions and countries and companies might use this new asset class for different reasons. And so we think we've just begun from a price appreciation point of view. This is part of a journey. I do believe that the SEC giving the green light has encouraged institutions to think carefully about it and have a point of view. So we're in the learning phase right now, and I think over time that this movement into this new asset class will continue to push up the price. Whether it happens this year, you know, there are always short-term causes for volatility. So a 1-year period is pretty short, but over a 5-year period, our confidence is very high.
What do you guys think? End of year, where do you think Bitcoin price will be? Do you think it's going to be 100K, more than 100K, less than 100K? Put it in the chat. I'm interested to know. I could put a poll up if you guys want. Let me know. Let's see real quick. Chris Hanley said he has racks of drives and PCs. A real geek. LOL. Dude, give me his address. I'll go over to help you. I'll just take one of them Bitcoins off your hands when we find it. No problem. Bro, I'd be ripping everything apart to find that hard drive. I wouldn't quit my day job, but I would take every single time I had off to find it.
And let's talk about the comment in that spot Bitcoin ETF.
Chris Hanley, 82K tops. That's the most random odd number. 82K. Why did you pick 82K out of all numbers?
Our 21 shares product that I have alluded to a couple of times has already reached a little over $1 billion in assets, about $1.3 billion in assets, I believe. The two largest products remain BlackRock and Fidelity's offerings. How are you looking at the competitive landscape now that we're a little bit into it? And what are you targeting for the size of that product? Again, I mean, maybe you're looking at a 5-year projection. I don't know. But what are your hopes for that?
Well, it has been very successful, and we are very pleased to be number 3 if you're excluding GBTC, which has a much higher fee than any of us. Then you've got BlackRock, Fidelity, and ARK 21 shares. That is fine company, and we are very pleased to be number 3. I think one of the reasons we are is our history with Bitcoin. We've been doing research on Bitcoin and publishing and giving it away since 2014. Another reason we think we're being successful is we have an incredible sales team at Resolute who has had to get its head around Bitcoin since 2016, when very few people thought it should have a place in a portfolio. They have developed confidence, they can explain it, and they can hold hands through volatility. And I think the other thing is our ops, our infrastructure and ops with our partner 21 shares is showing itself to be very efficient, and you can tell that in terms of spread. Sometimes we'll have the tightest spreads in the market. So I think we're firing all cylinders, and I'm just so proud of everyone who's been involved on this journey with us.
Kathy, I want to switch gears. I guess we can't have a conversation these days without talking about Tesla, it feels like. So I got to ask you about Tesla. Do you think...
Who's invested in Tesla? Let me know in the chat. Put a 1 if you are.
...that the company should be... Would you as a shareholder vote for Tesla switching its domicile from Delaware to Texas?
We're very supportive of that. What happened in Delaware, the judge ruling and basically taking the vote away from us, the shareholder, we voted for that pay package, 73% of shareholders did, and to have the judge kind of thinking that she is reading the minds of directors and independents, dependents, whatever. I just think, as I said in a post on X, I think it's un-American, it's anti-investor, and it's an insult to the board of directors of Tesla. So totally supportive of that move.
Are you supportive of Elon Musk's requests or demands or whatever you want to call it to get more voting shares? Or as he says, he'll take some of his technology elsewhere? Or do you feel as though Tesla's sort of being held hostage to that demand?
I really hope they don't start throwing shade at Elon Musk again like they did yesterday with all like the whole drug frickin' thing. Is he on drugs or blah, blah, blah? Like, who gives a shit? Just pay attention to what's going on in, like, not in his personal life, in the world, okay? It's just ridiculous, but whatever. I don't know.
I do not feel that.
Drives me nuts.
Being involved in disruptive innovation and only disruptive innovation, we know that we need visionary leaders who will stand up to short-term oriented shareholders and be able to execute their vision with the right technologies at the right time. And Elon Musk is the inventor of our age, and he is also our Renaissance man. So I'm always surprised at the pushback he receives. And I do think that 25, he's not asking for any more economic interest, it's voting interest. And for many of our companies, we are supportive of super voting rights because we know the visionary leaders, we go through periods of volatility and they just need to be able to execute upon their vision, not be thrown off by boards of directors who are listening to short-term oriented shareholders and swayed by them.
Well, it's true that Tesla is going through a period of volatility right now. We got to leave it there, Kathy. We will catch up again soon. Thank you so much.
Shout out to Kathy Wood for going on Yahoo Finance. She's amazing. All right, last but not least, we're going to end it with Crypto World, CNBC Television, and we'll recap, obviously. Ether trades above 2,800 for the first time since May 2022. Let's check real quick. Somebody said Bitcoin hit 53. Let me see. No, it didn't. Did it? Or did it not? Not according to Coin 360. Weird. Okay, anyways, let's get back into this. See what they got to say over here. Guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you all. I almost forgot. Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin holds its ground above the $52,000 level. Genesis gets court approval to sell more than $1 billion in Grayscale Crypto Trust shares. And PitchBook's Robert Lay breaks down the company's Q4 crypto report, which saw a surprising turnaround in VC interest. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Bitcoin is in the green again, trading above the $52,000 mark after crossing that level for the first time in 2 years yesterday. By noon Eastern, it had gained another 1.25%. Ether also gaining ground, rising more than 3.25% and trading above $2,800 for the first time since May of 2022. Solana, meanwhile, fell by about 1% to $114. Now, going back to Bitcoin for just a second, yesterday, the value of all the Bitcoin in circulation or market cap rose above $1 trillion for the first time since late 2021, as growing success of spot Bitcoin ETFs turned investor sentiment more positive. That's according to CoinMarketCap data. Now, the price rise continues a rally that began in January last year. This year alone, Bitcoin is up more than 22%. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Genesis got the green light to sell about $1.6 billion in Grayscale Crypto Trust shares to repay creditors. That's according to Reuters, which reported that yesterday, a bankruptcy judge permitted the firm to monetize its shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Grayscale Ethereum Trust, and Grayscale Ethereum Classic Trust. Reuters reports the judge overruled an objection from Genesis' parent company, Digital Currency Group, which had warned that the sale might be premature if Genesis doesn't win court approval of its overall bankruptcy plan. Reuters added that Genesis holds about 35 million shares in the Bitcoin Trust, worth nearly $1.4 billion, and Ethereum Trust shares worth more than $200 million. Genesis has been moving ahead with a liquidation plan that would repay customers in cash or crypto. Earlier this month, the crypto lender reached settlements with the SEC and the New York Attorney General's office. In their separate settlements, both agencies said Genesis should prioritize customer repayments. Next, in a CNBC exclusive, Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev discussed the trading platform's crypto business. Yesterday, we told you Robinhood raked in $43 million in crypto revenue and saw
they raked in $43 million in crypto revenue?
Monthly active users expand.
Holy shit.
After reporting fourth quarter earnings yesterday, Robinhood got a boost, but that retreated by midday today. Speaking with CNBC's Kate Rooney, Tenev said that Robinhood's crypto business is important and that Robinhood is a major player in the crypto market, adding that its crypto component accounts for about 10% of the firm's overall revenue mix.
What we focus on is there's periods of price appreciation in crypto, bull runs and kind of winters. And in the bull runs, you tend to see a lot of retail engagement and excitement, and volumes can tend to increase quite dramatically. But in other periods, we've continued to invest. We're continuing to add functionality. We're expanding in the EU as well. And there, we've been tracking our market share. And if our market share continues to increase during the winters, then I think that positions the company very well to capture the lion's share of the activity during the bull runs.
Real quick, Mr. Fully Electric said, "Man, I can't wait to get my funds back from Gemini." Now, how does that work? Fully Electric, is there a time frame when you get your funds back? Is it guaranteed or is it in the air? Kinda. Let me know.
Company we're following is Coinbase. The crypto exchange is set to report earnings after the bell today, and we'll bring you the highlights in tomorrow's show.
Well, we already know the highlights of Coinbase's earnings. Monster Pro. I don't know if you're joking, but Robinhood is it's an app that is more or less you can do stocks and crypto on it. When I used to use it way back, that's probably like 5-6 years ago. Actually, it's probably longer than that. About 6 years ago or so. But anyways, you used to be able to invest into crypto, but it would be like on the price of crypto. You could never take the crypto out of the platform. I guess you can now, so it's a bit different. But yeah, it's more or less just buying and trading stocks and crypto all in one platform. You do have to KYC. It is one of those things that's going to take like your license and your social and all that shit. So just be aware.
Last, Chainalysis released its annual report on crypto money laundering today, revealing that illicit crypto activity declined significantly in 2023. Two reasons why: lower trading volume and sophisticated crypto criminals like the North Korean hacking group Lazarus are developing new tactics in an effort to evade detection. The blockchain analytics firm said that more than $22 billion was laundered using crypto last year. That's a drop from $31.5 billion in 2022. Now, the firm wrote that the changes in money laundering strategy they've seen from crypto criminals serve as an important reminder that the most sophisticated illicit actors are always adapting their money laundering strategy and exploiting new kinds of crypto services. They encouraged law enforcement and compliance teams to study these new methods and become familiar with the on-chain patterns associated with them.
Interesting. Real quick, Fully Electric in the chat said, yes, it is related to the Genesis bankruptcy. Gotcha. So you hope it goes through. Man, well, I hope you get your money back. That's crazy.
All right, sticking with crypto reports for our main story. Data firm PitchBook's out with its crypto report for the last quarter of 2023, showing a surprising turnaround for VC funding in the industry. Crypto World's Jordan Smith spoke with Robert Lay, a crypto analyst at the firm, to have him break down the findings and what projects he expects to get the most attention in 2024.
So PitchBook is out with its latest quarterly crypto report, and this time you're looking at Q4 of 2023, and you're capping off a real year of recovery for the crypto market. Let's start with this data on VC funding in the industry, because it is a bright spot. PitchBook found that funding actually ticked up last quarter after 6 quarters of declines. Let's talk about that turnaround and where you think that's coming from, especially as crypto is competing for funding dollars with things like AI right now.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, Carl Coe said Robinhood screwed over a lot of people with GameStop and halting trading on their platform. Will never use it. Interesting. But you know what? There's going to be a lot of people that get burnt with the ETFs as well on these platforms that allow it, right? Because they, again, if you have a 20% move, the market shuts off for the day. Same exact thing, right? They're going to just kind of control you and what you want to do with your stuff. I don't know how long the GameStop thing happened. I wasn't involved with that, but yeah, that sucks. That's definitely shitty.
Yeah, so definitely we saw, like you mentioned, Jordan, there's a positive increase in quarter-over-quarter investments in Q4. It's the first time we've seen an increase in since the beginning of 2022. $1.9 billion was invested across 326 deals. You know, the sentiment on the ground was that it has kind of turned last summer. And for us, you know, sentiment is really a leading indicator. So we really didn't see that capture into the data until towards the end of last year. But, you know, we speak to investors and founders and, you know, investors who are more open to speaking to projects and writing checks, and founders were having an easier time getting meetings with investors and being able to connect and talk to investors. So we really saw that capture in the data in Q4 where there's an uptick. The little caveat is that the deal count is still down. So even though the total capital invested was up, deal count was down. So what this means is that we're seeing overall check sizes are larger for the quarter, which means you're starting to see a concentration of capital within really like the strongest projects out there. So, you know, in the last bull market run, we see anyone with a white paper or some fork project was able to raise capital. That's just not going to happen anymore in this new cycle. And so you're really seeing the ones that are building core infrastructure or applications that are getting real traction. Those are the ones that you're seeing in investments, and you see that happen in the quarter.
Now, you mentioned in the report that a lot of those investments are focused on centralized finance. Why has centralized market makers become such a focus for crypto last year? And is the infrastructure focus that we're seeing really a symptom of the industry maturing? Or is this more about institutions becoming more and more important to the ecosystem?
Man, his audio is terrible.
I think there's a combination of both. I think the convergence right now at the right time is that the infrastructure is starting to mature. When we talk about infrastructure, it's everywhere from, you know, the underlying layer 1 blockchains to the scaling solutions to interoperability layers to centralized market makers, which we written in the report. These are all key components of building a really fast scaled blockchain ecosystem that can bring on billions of users. And so at the same time, institutions are interested in this space. And a lot of them have been building their infrastructure themselves, or they partner with external providers to bring some of that infrastructure to them. And, the convergence is that the infrastructure is maturing while institutions are coming in. So I think all of that, you're starting to see the sentiment have changed, like I mentioned earlier. So that's why you're starting to see more investments in this space.
God, he's got like a fan on in the background, but yeah, this window is annoying behind this guy. Real quick, Chris Nichols in the chat, he said the Robinhood GameStop issue is different. Trading was still open for the rest of the market. Robinhood stopped it to protect their hedge fund backers. Yeah, it is kind of messed up, right, that they do that. But again, I don't think I think it's exactly the same thing, to be honest, with any type of 20% move or greater. They shut it off for the day. In any financial stock, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like the ETFs, if they move 20%, they'll shut off that specific market. They're not going to kill like the whole company, right? They're not going to shut off everything, right? All of Wall Street on their platform. They're going to shut off just that one individual item that's trading for plus or minus 20%. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if it's much different, but that is kind of shady though, how they do that.
Let's also talk about innovation outside of just the infrastructure startups. So much of the last cycle was about layer 2s. It was about the promise of smart contracts and dApps. Where are those projects now? Are they just gone when you're talking about closing out 2023? Are they largely on the back burner? Where do the ideas like that stand right now?
Yeah, so I think once we get to a place where we're not using these crypto jargon, talking about smart contracts, users don't care. Even institutions don't really care, okay? So what is the specific use case for this technology? We've talked about, stable coins and cross-border transfers is a great use case, right? Even today, if you want to go through the traditional route of sending money abroad, if I wanted to send money to Vietnam today, it's still pretty difficult, even with fintech companies like Wise out there that makes it a little bit easier, but still costly, still takes a lot of time. Those things, I can't send it on a Saturday night if I wanted to, because those things don't run. Those things will still run on old banking rails, which close during the weekend. So we know that the technology is valuable, but what is the specific use case? And, cross-border transfer is one of them. And so that is what we're talking about. We want to talk about how users are using it and how they're getting into the ecosystem. We don't really care about what they don't care what smart contracts are. They don't care what, decentralized applications are.
Well, if we talk about looking ahead, I mean, you mentioned in this report the idea of Bitcoin layer 2s being a real focus going forward. Where do those fit into that idea that, we want to make things easier for consumers or for retail investors or for whomever? We want to sort of remove some of that jargon, but at the same time, you really want to add to this idea that Bitcoin can be more useful. It can go beyond just an asset to invest in. Where do you see that going?
Yeah, so Bitcoin is an interesting one because we've been hearing a lot, about Bitcoin, especially, this year with the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF. So what that means is we have, traditional asset managers in the space who are able to buy and hold Bitcoin directly for their clients, which means you're going to start seeing a lot of liquidity move into the Bitcoin space. And at the same time, you're seeing a lot of research teams discovering ways to scale Bitcoin. And really, you're seeing Bitcoin shift from a traditional digital store of value only to more of a computing platform. And what that means is you're able to build applications on Bitcoin, which historically you're not able to do. So this is going to be very similar to how we see Ethereum. You have all these layer 2s, all these applications that were being built on Ethereum, and now you're starting to see that come to Bitcoin. And it really starts with the fundamental infrastructure of the L2 scaling solutions, because Bitcoin itself cannot have smart contracts or cannot have programmability built in, just how the technical architecture is built. But these L2 solutions can enable that, so you can have NFTs and DeFi and stable coins and gaming all on Bitcoin, and you're starting to see that happen.
What are your expectations for companies going public this year? We had Circle filing confidentially to go public. Should we expect more crypto companies to legitimize themselves by going public? Is that even a focus right now? What are your expectations there?
Yeah, it's a timely question, Jordan, because we actually are just starting research on just showcasing who we think are the top IPO candidates in our specific vertical. So this is my team. And so I'm starting to think about crypto. Obviously, we know Circle is the prime candidate right now. They confidentially filed a few weeks ago. So, Ripple might be one. We've heard Brad talk about maybe IPOing in a different jurisdiction outside of the US because how the SEC is unfriendly to them here. So, but we have more to share with you once we publish that report.
All right, shout out to CNBC Crypto World for that. All right, guys, we're going to get into recap segment of things. Let's see what the price of crypto's looking like again. Over here, Bitcoin, 52,000 as of right now. Man, I hate all these ads that are over this site, man. Like freaking everywhere. All right, I know my wife was talking about the her average purchase over here with you guys in the chat, and if she doesn't hide the rope before I get upstairs, I don't know, it's gonna be put to use because I've been arguing or trying to explain this to her for like ever. Okay, you buy $1,000 of Bitcoin at 60K, all right, then it drops down to say 20K, and you buy $1,000 at 20K. Your average is now 40,000. Okay, that's it's simple. It's not that. Oh god, I'm losing my mind. If you guys have any other way to explain it, easier way to explain it, please let me know in the chat. All right, let's see, what are we looking at? Let's check out some prices on coins. Any coins you guys are into? Yes, that is how it works. I honestly can't explain it any easier, Chris Hanley. I don't know what else to do. But it just boggles her brain to a point where she doesn't understand it. Cracks me up, but love her to death. All right, let's see. Just buy, ignore the price. Andrew Rasad, thank you. Hadouken to you, sir. Thank you for that, because that is the truth right there. That's what you need to do. Buy high, sell low. That's my motto. Yeah, exactly. There you go. If you want to lose, that's how you do it. All right, so Kaspa's been killing it. Let's see. Somebody said Kaspa jumped too while we were talking. 24 hours. I don't know what you guys are looking at, but what's today? 16th. What time is it? This is this morning. This is earlier. I guess this is not. Let's go to on market cap. Let's see. Oh god, how do I change this? Dark mode. Thank you. All right. I don't know why I don't use this site more often, to be honest, but let's see. Kaspa. Let's see how the chart's looking. Is the chart better over here? I'm not even positive it is. It looks the same. Anyways, we are still over 14 cents on Kaspa over here. Kaspa needs to break that resistance. Yes, it does. Yeah, I apologize for the flashbang. Let's see. Just watch the trailer, LMAO. We'll be downloading that right now. The movie looks amazing. This is the movie right here. The Dumb Money official trailer. I can't. I'm gonna get whacked for music if I play it. This is the movie though. The GameStop movie. It is freaking good. It is really good. I haven't watched the movie, but the trailer looks really good, and there's a lot of like big people in there, so it looks interesting to say the least, right? All right, any last questions before we get out of here? This is a good movie, says Mr. Automatic Beats. Nice. I haven't seen it yet. Dan R said he watched it. Hell yeah. Let's see. I'm telling you, man, best thing I did with BTC is just set up DCA in Robinhood. Set up a DCA in Robinhood. Every day I buy some. Every few weeks I move it to my Tangent. Little man Lou, what? Do you wait, hold on, do you DCA yourself? Something just fell down my stairs and I heard it go every step. That's hysterical. Do you set it up yourself, or is there like a thing where you can actually auto DCA? It's automatic. Really? Well, see, that's kind of a game changer. That's neat. I like that fact, but I'm not sure. I don't want to use Robinhood. That's my opinion. I'm not a huge fan. But I'm glad you can actually take the Bitcoin out now, because you never could. It was just a toy, not a kid. All right, good. Thank you, Miss Pocket Change. I was wondering, like, what the hell was that noise? It sounded like someone just fell down the stairs. Oh, let's see. You set up a reoccurring buy every day for whatever amount you want. You can do the same in Coinbase, I believe. Really? I'm gonna have to look into that. I didn't know you could do that. That's super easy, and it makes it super, like, dumb-proof, right? Crazy. All right, guys, listen, I love you all. I'm sorry, I wish I could go a little bit longer today, but unfortunately I have to get out of here because, daddy duty as always. But I will leave you guys with this, as it is Friday, so hopefully you guys Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, peace out. Let's go watch this.
Hold until I can't no more.
Eat shit, Gary. You are a loser. You always lose.
Have a good, safe, and happy Friday. Happy birthday to Miss Randy Hipper. We're going to raid her. Get over there. Throw hundreds at her. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.
You guys don't get to 100 likes. I'm going to show you my cleavage.
God damn it, Max. Can't take you anywhere.